Sri Gaya Prasad ji, who has just spoken, Deputy Director General, who has been passionately heading the rural housing scheme. He was so passionate in not only getting the scheme implemented, he was always deeply cared about the people, ensuring whether Awas Plus, all the apps that you are seeing today, we all reviewed together to make sure they are done properly and ensuring there are no bias and eligible people should get that. So doing all the hard work, Sri Gaya Prasad ji and all the honorable dignitaries, esteemed panelists, distinguished participants from across states and union territories, and the Secretary of the Goa Ministry of Rural Development, Sanjay Goel ji, all of these people, it is with immense warmth and gratitude to welcome you all to this important workshop. And I also specially thank the government of Goa for hosting us since yesterday in this vibrant and progressive state. And if you look at it under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, this is the scheme that our Honorable Transformative Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji, he always talks about Antyodaya. This is the uplifting of the last person in the queue, especially with this scheme that applies to rural women. So since 2016, you have seen the numbers that we have implemented, close to 4 crore houses. 5 crore houses have been targeted. Out of that, close to 4 crore houses have been allocated, and 3.7 crore houses have been sanctioned, and then 2.7 crore houses have been completed. So these might be numbers, but house is a very important for any family. My own experience, I was also born in poverty. I was a doctor. Until I finished my medical school, we didn't have a permanent house. We were living in a rented house. My mother continuously asked one thing, to have a permanent house, my father. I always remember that. Obviously now I have become rich, I have multiple houses, that's a different story. But this is where, how people, this is, the house is about families sleeping peacefully, children studying in safety, and the elders aging with dignity. This is the story of the house for a lot of people. So I don't want you to think these are numbers, but these are real livelihoods. So whatever the houses that we have built, in addition to providing the livelihood, this is beyond bricks and mortar. Obviously, because of this one, we were able to train a lot of masons. Now they are creating their own jobs, building expertise, and become the authors of their own prosperity. And along with these houses, we have used wonderful convergence, whether it is schemes Ujjwala, Jal Jeevan Mission, Swachh Bharat, Suryaghar. These are not just homes, but holistic habitats. And with all these, we're able to provide clean water, sanitation, clean cooking fuel, all of this, which they have explained. And all of this, up to a certain extent, is one thing, but as we step into Amrit Kal, we must evolve. It's no longer about the numbers, it's more about equity, quality, sustainability, and long-term impact. So that is why, when we looked at this scheme over the last 10 years, we have never done something where all kinds of experts come in one place. And now we have some problems as well. Though the steel and cement costs are kind of stable, the labor costs are increasing, some other material costs are increasing. Obviously, having an additional money would be helpful. But as the central government has also a responsibility to help as many people as possible. So money is always a tight issue. while we are working to increase the allocation per house, these are the kinds of these are the times we look into opportunities and innovation, how we can really create quality houses with the lowest cost possible. That is why we thought, let's bring all kinds of experts here. What are all the things we can do, whether it is greenhousing, affordable construction. And we looked at several places, like you go to Assam, there are shared walls, shared roofs. Roofs are done very effectively. So you can create, even though it's not 1.2, there are 1.7 lakhs here, with the help of state government like Goa giving more than 1 lakh, and little bit contribution from the beneficiaries. With innovation techniques, probably we can achieve most of these targets. And then having AI in beneficiary selection. Earlier there is a lot of gaming of the system. Now you have seen how much diligence they have put into the place, ensuring there is no duplicacy and only eligibles get this one. And then the sustainable development goals. If we want to be a developed nation, you want to have local aspirations to reach global responsibilities. So it's part of that. That's why we have involved all IIM, School of Planning and Architecture, and microfinance. As you all know, these are practical issues. While we talk about all these loan products, it's not easy for a poor person to go and ask for a bank to give a loan. So developing some kind of standardization, whether it is, when you look at these building architects, they will give a lot of designs, but it's very hard for a poor person to select what they want. So practically it's very difficult to implement. This is why, whether it is an architect coming up with not 500 solutions, but 10, 50, limited scope where they can really choose. That's one aspect. Second, who can actually deliver these things, right? The builders, identifying each stage, 2 or 3 people who can really take these cost-effective materials and build it at scale. When you build it at a scale, obviously the cost will go down. So like integrating and taking the central government being a policy agent is very hard to implement at the ground level. So this is why there are states that they can take a lot of responsibility in constructing these things in a manner that is scalable. So the whole idea of bringing all kinds of experts here is to get that one, your voices, your insights, your grassroots experiences, hopefully will help us to define the policy and refine the policy as well. So by embracing innovation, data and inclusive financing, hopefully we can develop this rural area into something that, as other speakers have said, to the next level. So only when our villages prosper, Bharat rises. Without the rural India having well-connected roads or houses, we cannot achieve Viksit Bharat goal. Therefore, every family that moves from a kacha to a pakka house with effective convergence is a step toward national transformation. So I really wanted to take time to thank my department, and you have seen the glimpse of the presentations that they have done earlier, 2 presentations. Their diligence in identifying the details in problems and the determination to solve hopefully will come to a meaningful conclusion. Once again, thank you for all the Goa and all the states people coming here and learning and contributing. And I wish this program will be highly successful. Thank you.